If you didn't include a work, how far would you go to get a? SNP MP Stuart MacDonald thinks several patronage are maintaining human beings by request them to job shifts for complementary to show they are up to the work. Concerns include been grown on outstanding test shifts. The is wherever you are requested to do a job for a time so a capacity tenant can solve if thou re any nice. Unions say it is a issue they are vision more than and more than. Mr. MacDonald wants to see them prohibited or for the workers to be pay. Zoe Lecky is a undergraduate in Glasgow. She rotated up deftly dressed for an interviewing in a small restaurant but was said by the business they requested her to do a change as portion of the choice trial. She went household, got modified and refundable to discover herself deserted in at the profound late. It was really lot thou'ry, now in theory a term of personnel, the is which the personnel do, thou'll be making precisely the identical as them, we wait you to job to precisely the identical norm, she recalls. She was said, fair act as if thou ve been making it for ages. How might audio okay for a at first date, but Zoe hadn't had any learning. And she wasn't creature pay. They had me installation tables, clean tables, restocking meal means, serving drinks, she says. I wasn't though proposed a breakdown or a sip of water supply or whatever. It was complete on for several hours. No fee for the change was debated. She was ultimately proposed the work, but rotated it downward following creature said she'd include to be accessible 7 days a 1 week. I believe it was full operation, she says currently. If I was to go behind to how time in period, I would include fair walked of. Down there has not been a inclusive research of how lot human beings are making job love the. But the Bring Together Association has been fleeing a campaigning on equitable job and found lot human beings contact them in such stories. We've seen a large growth in the use of outstanding test shifts, especially in the welcome and small restaurant production, of household restaurants to big multi-ethnic corporations, says Brian Simpson of the association. And he says cases are not fair on human beings creature proven up creature proposed a work. There with outstanding test shifts to lid absences during the job, if workers are patient they are earning human beings in to do 8-time-long test shifts in no intent of always giver them a work. Willie MacLeod, the UK Welcome Associates Execution CEO for Scotland, told it was regular to ask who to show their skill set as portion of a recruiting or choice trial. He told, to sample a cook in a cuisine show he can in fact prepare thing or a cocktail party bartender show he can in fact do the cocktail same will be marketing. But Mr. MacLeod told, outstanding test shifts is a impoverished industry experience. To job a complete or part change and not be paid for it is inappropriate. The Edinburgh-based cook Mark Greenaway as well says it is not on complementary labor, but check whose skills. SNP MP Stuart MacDonald, who represents Glasgow Southward, is publication a draft he hopes to get via the Westminster Parliament. In brief, how would indicate human beings' requirement to be proposed at low the minimal wages if they are departure to do the job a term of personnel would usually conduct of. Mr. MacDonald says, that doesn't end the capacity of an tenant to try human beings of. It fair sets new rules and boundaries on how they do how. Patronage would include to do precise which jobs are accessible, to do certainly they are not fair with test shifts to fill in personnel shortages. And nobody making a pay test would be guarantee feedback loop if they don't get the work. Mr. MacDonald says a test change is really various to job expertise, that frequently involves surveillance and servant and is not normally a job annex. He told it became a test change while who was performance all the tasks they would be required to perform if they were in fact making the work. Mr. MacLeod told job expertise was urgent to subject capacity recruitment to the production. He told, same welcome production is not definitely for all. You include to be convenient giver facility, you include to be convenient in human beings. Receive how expertise is urgent to the servant and advantageous to the tenant but it is not to be operated and not to be offended. Mr. MacDonald told his individual terms draft designed to end the cynic operation of outstanding test job, wherever human beings are work for length several hours in the expect of receive a work. It told Mr. Taylor, a ex-assistant to Tony Blair, had set out how the law was already adequate in the region. In its answer to the Taylor overview, by the government devoted to get activity to provide interns were pay at low minimal wages rates while making the job of a employee. A Division for Industry representative told, same law is already precise how it is illicit to use human beings on outstanding test job periods for an undue time of period, or wherever down there is no job at the end of it. If you are an employee you should be paid at low the minimal wages and the year by the government will expend a recording pound on enabling the UK's minimum pay workers get which they are owed.